Welcome back to the Dugs. Today we learn about a former king turned software salesman, a man who treated marriage like a cancel anytime streaming service, and cryptocurrency ruining our ability to research. Roll the titles. The second season is all about second chances. So today I bring you the 1981 Reds, who get a second chance at winning a title after being screwed by the bizarre playoff format of 1981, against the 6 out of 5s, the most overrated players in history, who get a second chance to prove they were correctly rated. Before we get to the highlights, we are primarily storytellers, and who is a better story than Dan the Broken? I'm referring of course to Dan Howard, who will not be featured in this video, but was the last man to get a hit off today's starting pitcher Nolan Ryan. Dan was put on this planet for one purpose: to boot Nolan Ryan out of the majors. At the end of 4 uninspiring years, where he was hitting under the Mendoza line, Howard smacked a grand slam off Nolan Ryan. Ryan couldn't even make it through the next batter, exiting the game while shaking his head that a man who averaged less than 10 hits a year just took him deep for 4 runs. Ryan never played another major league game again, and Howard, his work done, played only a few more months of baseball before descending into technical goods sales. Does he boast about ending Ryan's career? No. He now boasts about trailblazing directory service migrations and offering specialised software sales solutions, both direct quotes from his LinkedIn page, because a man who must say he is king is no king at all. So as I said, King Howard is not playing, but facing Ryan is Mario Soto, though to Soto's immeasurable disappointment they are facing each other in a more traditional baseball way rather than in physical combat, something Soto excelled at in his 11-year career. He shoved an umpire, tackled a 53-year-old third base coach, and punched an opponent with a baseball still in his hand. Let's see if he manages to keep it together today. That's called foreshadowing. So to the action, and we'll see 2 very different ways to score a run. Firstly, Ray Knight. A sac fly brings home a run. Not particularly exciting, but it counts just as much as this absolute rocket from Johnny Bench. 476 yards from someone once described by an ex-wife as a great athlete but mediocre at everything else. We at the Dugs think this is incredibly unfair to Johnny. Away from baseball, he managed 4 marriages. That's 4 times what most people manage. Is that mediocre? He tried to convince his wife to take a $25,000 offer to pose for Hustler against her will. Would a mediocre person do that? His 4th marriage was to someone 26 years younger than him, flying way past the half your age plus 7 rule by over 4 years. Those aren't mediocre numbers, those are Hall of Fame numbers, and that's where this 14-time All-Star ended up, ending our saga of a man who scored 1,091 times in his career, and probably posted a lot of runs too. So it's 2-0, and here's the Sixers trying to mount a comeback in the bottom of the 4th. Soto has scattered 3 hits so far, but is kept out of danger, and he continues to fly here. Bernie Williams, who released 2 jazz albums after retiring, feels kind of blue as he strikes out, as does Joe Carter, who may have walked off the 1993 World Series, but he's walking off the field with a K here. Ryan attempts to strike out the side, but Harold Baines is still holding on to some anger at receiving the record low signing bonus for a first overall pick in the draft, and that anger fuels this solo shot to cut the lead to 2-1. This completely breaks Soto's concentration, and he walks Alex Gordon. Realising his control is gone and he's going to be walking the next few batters, Soto remembers his preferred and quicker way to put men on base and straight up starts throwing at batters. He hits Rizzuto, then hits Varitek, and is surprisingly not thrown out of the game by... Wait, hang on. There's no umpires in these videos. Johnny Paprika, where are our umps? 20 or so videos in, I've never noticed this. Is this the future where balls, strikes and outs are controlled by computer? Is this Skynet? In the meantime, Ryan grounds out to end the inning, but he'll be back. Soto did settle down a bit, but this pitch is a bit of a wet fart, as John Carter of Mars's lesser-known brother, Joe Carter of Oklahoma, connects to make it 2-2. But as soon as the 6 out of 5s get themselves back even, the 81 Reds go right back in front, this time from the bat of Griffey. So Soto knows what he's got to do. He's got to hit more people? His third hit batter of the day, and it's the second time he's hit Varitek. Jason Varitek didn't start playing baseball until 9 years after Soto retired, so I can see no reason that this pitcher who spent his entire career in Ohio would want to hurt this player from Michigan. None at all. Varitek, who ended his career being caught 5 out of the last 7 times he tried to steal, throws that scouting report out the window and steals second. And a batter later hears Soriano. He was caught stealing in the first, but he can make amends here. Or he can ground into a double play, which is exactly what he does. That means Ken Caminti has the last chance in the inning. And Caminti, who owned a ranch with Craig Biggio, finds the hidden valley between the infielders, and it's 3-3. That's where we find ourselves after 9, but baseball is much like France in the early 1940s because it hates ties, so we're going to extra innings. Johnny Paprika is asking if I'm really going to keep that joke in, and yes, Johnny, yes, I am. Bottom of the 10th, and a chance for the 6 out of 5s to win this. Alex Gordon singles, so Omar Vizquel puts the fun in fundamentals with this sack bunt. Joe Price is on the mound for the Reds, and did they just call a balk on Price? Was that a balk? Come to think of it, what is a balk? Okay, life on your line, could you define a balk? Supreme Court Justice Potter Stewart may have once said he couldn't define porn, but he knew it when he saw it. Well, frankly, I don't even know a balk when I see it, so I'm going to have to trust that was indeed a balk. Poor Joe Price, a man for whom we at the Dogs could find almost zero information because every search for Joe Price turns up the trading value of a cryptocurrency. Currently at 36 cents at time of recording if you're interested. Johnny, this whole game has fallen apart. I can't find anything on Joe, I don't know what a balk is, and here's Varitek at the plate who's been hit twice. But unlike Johnny Bench, Varitek is good in the sack fly, and that will end the game. The 6-5s finally win it in extras 4-3. Nolan Ryan went 7, striking out 9 and picking up a quality start. I learned that a balk can even include an unnecessary delay of game or dropping a ball, so I'm pretty sure it's a catch-all term for when the umpire wants to disrupt a game just for the hell of it. Kinda like pass interference in that way. It's been an educational game, Johnny. Over to you for the Crawfords and the Diamonds.
King Felix is back on the mound today for Diamonds in the Rough as our two 1-0 Group A teams come face to face. On the other side, it's Leroy Matlock. The Crawfords aren't a one-pitcher show. Leroy's legit. In 1935, Page temporarily left the Crawfords to play for a semi-pro team in North Dakota, an incident we went over in the team review. Word has it that Matlock's performance that year made Pittsburgh straight up forget about Satchel Paige. There's debate on the issue since record-keeping was fairly sparse in the area, especially in the Negro Leagues. For example, I came across this quote while researching. According to early statistics, which excluded runs, in Matlock's first 21 innings for the Homestead Grays, he started once and had a 2-0 record. Since runs were excluded, I'm assuming they just asked both teams at the end of the game who felt like they won the game. Everyone agreed and they all went out to dinner and a movie afterwards. It's quite similar to how my millennial high school decided who graduated. Anyhow, those shaky statistics would indicate that Leroy Matlock had a record of 18-0 in September and didn't lose a game until the postseason. Well, whatever, we're keeping track now. Let's get it on. Fastest man in the world, Cool Papa Bell, reaches first via an error on Luke Appling. Surely he rushed this play, knowing he had zero time for hesitation. You can see it right here in the way his thigh twitches. You see it? Well, after Bell advances to third on a fielder's choice, it's a second fielder's choice off the bat of Oscar Charleston that gets him across the plate. Inning's not over yet, however. That ball must be going out for cigarettes because we won't be seeing it again! That's Josh Gibson with his first dinger of the turn. Meanwhile, something interesting is going on the other side of the ball. Ernie Banks is down swinging. Andre Dawson caught a whiff of what Banks had and whips himself. Felix Hernandez, thank Manfred for the DH. Through 3 innings, Leroy Matlock has struck out 7. The way he's pitching, the Crawfords will likely feel like they're home free with a few more insurance runs. You see what I did there? This is Sam Bankhead doubling off of Felix, scoring Bill Perkins. It's 3-0 Crawfords. The bases eventually load up, and it's Rap Dixon clearing them with a double. That knocks Felix Hernandez out of the game as the Crawfords take a 6-0 lead. It's a rough day for Felix, but he'll be able to take consolation in the fact that he no longer plays for the Mariners. The Crawfords get another run to make it 7-0, and in the bottom of the fifth, this is Harmon Killebrew becoming victim number 10, and Ernie Banks catching strikeout number 11. Say hey, he struck out twice today. He actually goes the full golden sombrero by the end of this, as does Paul Goldschmidt, making it the first time both Ernie Banks and Paul Goldschmidt have golden sombreroed in the same game. Yep. I let Hamish handle the stats today. Nice work, Scotland. In the top of the seventh, the Crawfords are starting to make this embarrassing. I hope you like being teabagged by rodents, because here's another gopher ball. That's Rap Dixon, who already has a 3 RBI double to his name, racking up a 4th RBI and making it 8-0. The 2 RBI single by Mike Trout in the 8th eventually hangs a run on Matlock, though both of those runs will prove to be unearned. The Diamonds in the Rough were in too deep of a hole, and this one closes out at 9-3 in the end. So in a shocker, the Crawfords hand the Diamonds in the Rough their first loss by lighting up Felix Hernandez and striking out 17 members of the opposition. Most thought the Diamonds were going to run away with this group, and by most I mean this one guy that commented. Thanks for the comment, Jeff. You've got to give the owner of the 17 strikeouts the player of the game honors, but a not too distant second falls to Rap Dixon, who homered, doubled, and brought home 4. So that puts the Crawfords at the top of the group by themselves. Coming up tomorrow on the Dugs, we'll see how Game 2 plays out for Group B. As always, we'd love to hear your predictions on how those games play out, so let us know in the comments who wins and by what margin. We're getting ideas on what to do with the best predictor currently. Those matchups feature the 0-1 Expos, who are sending Jeff Facero to the mound in a game against Burt Blyleven and Club Snub, who sit at 1-0. We'll also see the 0-1 Black Sox and Dickie Kerr visit the Tucson Tucsoons and Sandy Koufax. That wraps up the games today. Coming up next on the Doug Sports Network, we're going to replay as much as we can from sports specials that were aired in a different era and see how long it takes the FCC to shut our broadcast down. Bellagio has set the over-under at 2 minutes. What do you think? If you like what we're doing here, comments, subscriptions to the channel, which are free, mind you, and likes on the video go a long way to making the Dugs a thing. So until next time, I've been Johnny Paprika, hoping all of your balls are fair and all of your wood is good. Good night, everybody.